my mic. What's up, everybody? We got another episode. It's episode 19, episode 20, I believe. It is episode 20. I'm not for sure why it's not showing on Facebook, but everybody get in here. We got stuff to talk about. We missed last week, so we got to make up for that as well. Everybody get in here. It's not going to be a long countdown. I'm going to give y'all a couple of minutes. We're going to get up in here, and we're going to get this done, and we're going to talk. I'm getting ready to sound like a couple of those YouTubers that sound like big muscle men real quick. But let's get up in here, guys. Give you guys a couple of minutes. Let's talk. Let's get it. Guys, if you're already on here, you're already watching, go ahead and like and share this broadcast. Like and share this broadcast. It's brought to you by, and I don't have my advertisements up yet, but it's brought to you by Washington Digital. Go ahead and hire us for your IT needs, business to business only. Sorry. Get on up in here. We got stuff to talk about. Look, I'm getting ready to start sharing it to churches too. Y'all need to talk as well. It's therapeutic for some people. Let's go. No. Let's get it. I'm not even sure my countdown. I got to share my countdown real quick. Yeah, I got 2 minutes to get y'all tails in here so we can talk. We got to talk about KP, talk about Louisville. We can get some women's basketball in here as well. Got to talk about football. Look, well, we ain't got much about football. We got to talk about Kentucky basketball as well. Yep. Got to talk about that embarrassing loss. I'm sorry, because we missed. Y'all get in here so we can talk about this. Let's go. You got less than a minute and 30 seconds to be in here. I'm sorry, we don't have no theme music. I'm sorry. Let's get ready to be a minute. Hopefully you guys will be in here.
It's time to stop drinking now.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to hear my smart speakers getting ready to go off. Like and share this broadcast. You got less than a minute to get here. Like and share this broadcast. If you guys are saying this, like and share this broadcast. You got less than a minute to get in here because we're about to get at it. We got some stuff to talk about, guys. Yes, sir. Let's get in here. Cats versus Cars, the only place on the internet where you're going to get both cats and cars at the same time. You might get the cats, you might get the cars, but you're not going to get cats and cars. That's where we at. So come on in here. Go ahead and like and share this broadcast. I see we got 8 more shares. I like that. Like and share this broadcast, guys. Look, 5, 4, 3, 2. All right. If you're not in here, you done missed it already. Hey, guys, thank you for joining us for another episode of Cats vs. Cars. This is episode 20, Cats vs. Cars. Give it up for us for 20 episodes so far. Good job. And I hit the laugh button. I didn't mean that. There we go. 20 episodes. So as you guys see, all of our episodes haven't been exactly the same. It's been basically a moving target. Things have changed a little bit here, a little bit there. This first season of Cats vs. Cars, we're really trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work, and move from there, add some things. So if you guys got any input, housekeeping, if you guys got any input, please leave it in the chat below. If you're on Facebook, leave it in the chat below. If you are on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, leave it in the chat below. I'll read read those comments and give us a few pointers, things that we should work on, things that we need to get better at, things that you want to see added to the show. If you want to be a part of the show, go ahead and put that information in there too. We got some people that is part of the rotation, but they can always grow. Hey, and guess what? You don't even have to be a Cats or Cards fan. You can be a fan of a different group. Just come on here. Hey, cuz what do we do? This is like barbershop talk, man. When you go to the barbershop, get your hair cut, everybody's not a Cats fan. Everybody's not a Cards fan. But everybody has an opinion, and it makes it fun. Hey, we got people that they got family members that on staff that cuts the rival fans' head. So it's all fun and games. But here we go. We're getting ready to start the show. We got 4 guys, including myself, this week. We got one more that's to come later on. He's got something else that's going on. But starting from the top over there, top right. What's going on, PJ?
What's up, everybody? You know what it is. Cats by 90. Cats by
90. I love it. All right. Go ahead. The second one, the next one, Richard. What's going on, Rich?
L1C4, baby. Despite the trials and tribulations, it's still L1C4.
He said, despite the trials and tribulations. He's churchy, boy. All right. And last but not least, down at the bottom right, look like the Unabomber. Hey, let me tell y'all, if there's a UK building that gets bombed, y'all know who did it right down here. What's up, Perry?
All the way from Arizona. I'm a bomb. Always got jokes. Trials may come on every hand. All right. L1C4.
I was going to let you go in on that, bro. I was going to say he going to go for it. All right, L1C4. All right, so we missed a week. We missed last week. So we got some games to make up. It looks like that Louisville is – I'm not trying to talk any trash or anything right here, guys. I'm just bringing up a simple observation. Looks like Louisville is on a 5-game losing streak right now. Their last win was against the likes of Miami, where it gave people a whole lot of hope, thinking that there might be something that KP is actually doing. But and then you follow that up with NC State with the loss 89 to 83, and then North Carolina, and just you knew that North Carolina was going to be a loss, but you counted on Wake Forest, and it just didn't happen. The bottom fell out. Then you follow that up with Duke and Virginia. I mean, Perry, what is there anything that you guys can grasp on through this whole thing? Is it the improvement just smoke and mirrors? Is that what it is right now?
There's improvement?
Is there? That's what I'm asking. Is there?
No, he said, is there improvement?
Oh, okay. Okay.
There's improvement?
Hey, I don't know. Hey, Louisville is struggling right now, man. I'm trying to throw y'all whatever bone I can.
It's take 2 steps forward and then jump back into a pothole that you stepped over. And when you get in a pothole, it's like in Mario Brothers, you fall into another world. That's how bad it is.
Man.
So, it is what it is.
So let me ask you this question. I'm not trying to rag on you. Did you watch last game?
I did.
And you watched last game. And the reason why I'm asking, folks, is because I don't know why he got quiet on me, but he did. The reason why I'm asking, guys, is because Louisville right now is 6-14. And if you are a Louisville fan, you just have to admit it is overall. I mean, I'm sorry.
We so bad the enemy is giving us extra losses.
No, we are 6-14 overall. 1-8 in the conference.
Yeah, you wanted 8 in the conference, 6-14 overall. You are. All right. And so you guys have improved over last year, but if you just admit it, if you are a Louisville fan, this is hard to watch. I remember when Kentucky had won 9 games, and every single game I watched, I was like beating my head against the wall, like, what in the world? And I just kept thinking, all right, if this goes right, then we'll win. And this is where Louisville's at right now. It's
No.
hard to watch.
No,
You're
no,
not. No.
because
You're not right there.
Y'all came
we're
out
not
the
there.
26-3 or 26-6 season where y'all was like, well, if only they hadn't COVID hadn't came, we would have made the Final Four or something. Y'all wasn't coming out.
Yeah, we was.
28.
So tell us the state. Tell us the state of a Louisville fan right now. Tell us the state of a Louisville fan. How do you feel right now?
As the fan, now Perry is a fan, but he's also knowledge, material, stuff like that. But as the fan, the Louisville fan is so frustrated that we don't even watch the games live. And if we watch the game, it's 2 or 3 days later, and we may just catch the highlights. You know, that's how bad we as fans are trying to be supportive of this team. I have to clap. I have to get my hands up, hands down, bow to those fans who actually go to the game. See what I'm saying? That's the dedicated fan right there. Those
shame on those fans. I'm saying shame on them.
No, I'm not saying shame. Somebody got to pay to keep the lights on. Somebody got to pay to keep the stadium, keep the arena going. And those are the dedicated fans who could sit through this mess. You talk about when UK won 9 games, dude, you all were at least competitive in a lot of those games. Yeah. We looking at the Virginia game, I saw that game 3 days. I mean, I saw that game yesterday. Seriously. And that game was 2-3 days ago. I saw it yesterday, and dude, I had to stop watching it 3 minutes before the half. See what I'm saying? Didn't have to come back to it. It was that disgusting. See what I'm saying? As a fan, you watching, why come he didn't rotate quickly over? Why are they not anticipating? Because I can anticipate this is going to happen. And I don't play basketball. I don't know. So you wondering, why come they're not getting better? What are they practicing in practice? For all of Allen Iverson's talk, just practice. No, this is practice. This is what it's all about. And you wonder as a fan, what's going on? When is this going to be over? How quickly can we transition to somebody else? I don't care if you got to pull somebody from high school. A high school coach could do better than this. That's what we're talking. That's what we as fans are dealing with. This has never happened. Never happened.
I'm giving you points just for the honesty. I mean, it wasn't no facts. It was just the honesty right there. I mean, because it's just I posted on Facebook. I said Louisville is doing this to Kenny Payne because the losses. I forget how many straight losses it was or whatever. And I posted on there just being funny that it was because of Louisville. But I mean, I'm just like, how much more? I'm starting to feel for you guys. How much more can you take? I mean, I think it should be a foregone conclusion right now that Kenny Payne won't be back at all. I don't see how he can be back. If he is back, then you got to question this is one time that I would say, because Perry he's in for these conspiracy theories that we got Kentucky fans at the top of Louisville University right now, and they just driving y'all basketball program in the ground. If he comes back next year, I will give you everything that you be saying about that stuff. All right, PJ, I know your face is like, what in the world's going on here? Go ahead. What's on your mind?
No, I think the idea that we are in a world where people are literally trying to do the worst job possible because they want UK to win is far-fetched. I think I agree though to the point that we're at the place now where, of course, I think it's obvious to everyone that Louisville probably should move on. I do think it's better to not do it like just firing right now. I mean, you could. But I think end of season probably the best thing to do, especially because he is still one of yours. As that's happening, you're starting to see some of those names floating around. But even the names that's been floating around are names that are not they're not doing so well outside of outside of one of them.
That's the crazy.
That guy hits women, so I'm not really excited about him either. You know what I'm saying?
Because it can't be Mick as the pick. It still can't be Mick as a pick.
So that's the thing. Like people are still even trying to, and I'm just speaking from a perspective that's on Twitter, also known as X now, right? Elon's Twitter. You still have a sector of the fan base who believes Mick is just in a bad situation. You have the other part of, everybody's kind of seeing the whole thing with Musk going on, and they're like, "Oh, Musk," but I'm like, dude, what he's doing right now in Arkansas is atrocious. The only things to me that make sense out of the names that I've heard, strictly coaching, I understand why you would want Chris Beard. At the same time, again, me personally, fresh off the situation, it's a no for me. But I also think, mentioning the names of Jerome Tane being kind of thrown around. I think there's a guy on there named Trilly Donovan who is connected to everybody. And he put out a graphic that had like multiple coaches on this one graphic. And those are the ones that supposedly that Louisville has been eyeing as the guys. And so Mick was on there. Musk was on there. I guess Drew was on there as well. So they're probably going to take a shot at him. I think you have
Drew.
From Baylor. You have to take a shot.
Oh, okay.
You have to.
You do.
Everybody has to. Everybody has to at least ask him if he will be up to up par for that.
Yeah, I agree with that. So Perry, is there anybody on that should be on the list that hasn't been named? Any guys that you have been trying to eye?
Well, I didn't see. I didn't see the list that
that PJ's talking about. Anybody other than what he mentioned is what I mean.
I mean, the coach for FAU comes to mind. I haven't seen that. I watched another Cardinal program the other day, and they spoke. They had an exhaustive list of candidates from the definitely going to get a call to we want to call them, but there's no sense in calling them type. And so to me, the coach at Baylor, he's the type that I wouldn't really bother calling because he's doing well. And he's basically the pioneer of their basketball program at this point. He's their modern age guy. So he's not going anywhere. But the FAU coach, they've mentioned Shaka Smart a couple of times. Beard seems to be a hot name, which is so bad now that you just get to a point where you can't hire Calipari off of all of if they can hire somebody off.
He's always got to come at Calipari, man.
Having personal problems. I mean, it's bad.
You do have personal problems.
But to Cal's credit, he's never ever been accused of hitting a woman or doing anything like that. The worst case you've had is someone paying Camby, and then the thing about with Derrick Rose, that's nothing compared to hitting a woman at all.
Allegedly, they said it's allegedly, and then
there is no alleged to it.
Sean, yes, you should have hit me up.
I'm just saying what I'm hearing from other Louisville
So
fans.
of course they're gonna say allegedly, but to go that far, that just means y'all down in the dumps. To go get a man who beats a woman, to me, you're just down in the dumps for that.
Man,
but
it's like Ole Miss is trash, so it makes sense for them to do that.
I mean, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing for everybody, because Louisville, I give it to you. You guys are one of the top 10 programs, top 6 programs. I put it that way. I give y'all that much. Oh, and Dietrich came in.
Historically.
He came in.
Oh Lord!
Historically,
hold up, time out. Dietrich, you ain't even on screen yet. But I give Louisville that.
Here comes the instigator. He's gonna throw a grenade and run, and watch the pieces fall. Yeah, that's how they go.
Watch the building burn down when everybody died.
Yeah,
but I give Louisville. Yeah. No, but let me say this real quick. I give Louisville they're the top 6 program, so they're right on the outside of Blue Bloods. I would say don't debate. We ain't got to debate that. But with that said. They're one of the programs that are going to be looking for that next great coach. I mean, there's only who can do that: Kentucky, Duke, North Carolina. I put Louisville in there, IU, Kansas, and such. They look for that next.
UCLA.
Everybody's looking UCLA. Everybody's looking for that next great head coach. But I think when it comes to the greats, those programs, those top programs, are the ones that are realistically can land those and keep those. With this new generation, with the older generation, you know who they were. You know who Coach K was. You know who Roy Williams was. You know who all these guys are. This new generation is coming through. You don't know. So it's like we're throwing names out, but you don't know who's going to be that next great. And that's one thing that's going to be really hard for Josh Harry to really get this right. You might get a really good coach, but not a coach that can get you over the hump. Just because of that, it's a lot of unknowns this time. It was easy for Kentucky to choose.
That's what they said about Kenny Payne when we hired him. He was supposed to be the next upcoming prodigy coach. I mean, look, he set up with Tyler Perry. He went to the NBA. He's supposed to be this great whisperer of big men and a recruiter. Yeah, when he came in here, we were looking for the next great because, like you said, all the previous generation head coaches we already knew and were either retired or content and sitting where they're sitting and not ready to make another transitional move. But, like you said, that's what KP came in as. So we made that jump. We made that decision to do that. Now, I think Louisville needs to look for somebody with a little bit more experience because that's the one thing Kenny Payne didn't have is experience as a head coach. And it's really been one of the key factors in his demise because a lot of these mistakes he's made and the things that he's doing and the people he's hired is because of that lack of experience.
You're saying some good stuff there. All right. So, we got a new person that's on. Dietrich.
Go Big Blue.
First, y'all see the cup. Go Big Blue. What's your take on this, man? Who do you see Louisville should? Who do you think Louisville should target? What do you see KP back next year? Do you see any positives that's coming, out of the season right now for them?
Well,
just be honest.
So here's some positives. Here's some positives. They won more games than last year, right? That's already a positive. No,
go ahead. Yes,
but Kenny Payne has got BAH playing well. Like you said, he is the big man whisperer. He does know how to develop inside present big men, and BAH is showing up game after game and is becoming quite consistent. Now, something you guys were touching on a minute ago about not knowing if Kenny Payne or all the expectations when Kenny Payne came in. I think what you're seeing is you're just seeing a shift in what it takes to be great in this new era. Just like with Alabama, with Saban leaving. He's not leaving just because he has personal issues or just because the SEC is expanding. He's leaving because times are changing and he may not want to keep up or change with those times. And I think I definitely, because all the work that you have to put in to field a top team now in in the revenue sports of college sports, it's a lot harder to do than it was 10 years ago. NIL and the transfer portal, that mix have made it so complex. You see it with Kenny Payne. If Kenny Payne took over this team 10 years ago, you would have a better result than he's having right now because money's coming into play. Because I'm telling you, there's a lot that goes into recruiting.
No. Hey, can we can we make a different noise than that?
He probably wouldn't get the 6 wins he got now. He wouldn't get the 6 wins he got now. Yeah.
I gotta give that one to you, D. I gotta give that one to you because I'm gonna tell you.
You don't think Kenny Payne's not being able to use NIL like other teams have been able to use it have hurt his recruiting?
Who said that? Who said he hasn't been able to use NIL?
There's been players who are going to other teams for more money.
Yeah, but he's got the players he's got because of NIL and the transfer portal.
He's got to become NIL.
If he did not have that, what he's put together in his strategy, he would not have the 6 wins he has now. He has the 6 wins now because of what the limited ability he's done with NIL.
I need to add.
That's my opinion.
I want to add this. Kenny Payne initially said he doesn't want to. He was telling players, "I'm not going to talk about NIL. I want you to come play for me." He was steering away from NIL. He was taking a Calipari approach.
That's a last decade. That's a last decade attitude.
Yeah, but
it really is.
It is, but like I said, the understanding is he has NIL. The players that he's getting are players that he recruited and was able to bring in, and they weren't junk players. He got some highly ranked players. Did he develop them? No. Are they not getting paid? They're getting paid in NIL. they're showing up in ads and advertising and whatnot. They might.
That's
not
what I'm saying. If it was not for the current situation, we would not have the 6 wins he has now.
Okay,
so,
pause.
Go ahead,
PJ. I'm gonna tell you. Hold up. Let me just say this: the way that we have this design is you're supposed to be called on, but that's not really happening by design. So, PJ, don't just raise the hand and say, "Hey, wait a minute, I got something to say." You know,
jump in there.
That's going to help better. Yeah, jump in there.
I don't want to
go ahead, PJ.
I just kind of want to put up my hand and say, like, listen, I got next. I want to say something.
I got you.
To what Dietrich was saying, I'm not going to say I wholeheartedly agree with what he's saying. I think but the times are different as far as the parity of the game has changed.
Oh,
and as far as when you talk about what he would have been 10 years ago, as far as the connections he does, as we mentioned that before, yes, he was one of the guys that when you seen him on the recruiting trail, literally people have said when they seen KP and Cal walk in, they walked out because it was like, okay, well, this guy's done. He's going to UK, even though they didn't always work out. Yes, I'm not, but again, that's why. As what you mentioned, Sean, I can't go all the way and saying that he will be doing so great because he has shown a struggle with coaching, which I also, again, this is just anybody, any coach. You are just as good as the assistants that you have around. There are oftentimes assistants on your team.
He's letting you know, PJ, the charges was dropped.
Hold on.
Alleged charges.
Hold on. And someone who takes this very serious because I have relatives who went through this. Charges drop means nothing. When you have pictures and photos that are done for money and for other reasons, people will drop and say whatever, come back on
the charges were dropped.
I feel you on that though.
I'm not making light of none of that because any man is
a loser. I feel you on that though. Yeah.
And if he was a black man, he would not be playing because of Terrence Shannon, who's been allegedly accused of doing something.
We know. And I agree with you. I'm just joking with you because look what happened to what's his name, Majors. What's his name,
Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan Majors. Dude was running away and still
right. Exactly. Versus where she had actual choke marks, which is a completely different story. You can't accidentally choke somebody. But anyway, what I was trying to say though overall was I think also what you see is a difference. And to another point is that we always talk about, and I know we like to, especially Perry likes to throw jabs at Cal. We also love talking about the rolling the balls out. You just got to get the talent and roll the balls out. And the guys,
his assistants ain't good.
No, that's true.
Kyle Perry's the reason why Vogel's losing.
So now he's mentioning my point. He's mentioning my point in that KP doesn't have the time to develop the players. If he was given the time to develop players and not have to just have people come in for spring practice and now we're filling the team, I think he would have done better in a different situation.
Wait a minute.
And that goes into the overall climate that it has simply changed on how to have success in college basketball.
What do you mean?
It has changed.
I don't understand.
Go ahead.
What do you mean he does not have time?
Yeah, PJ, you got to quit doing that.
They interrupted me. So I wasn't.
My bad.
What I was just trying to say was that and when I say about you're just as good as your coaches before I was interrupted, as far as the assistants you have around with you, the thing is that some people thrive in different environments and their assistants are not always the same. They don't always have the same responsibility. You look at even with we talk about the coach at Baylor, right? Mm-hmm. Coach at Baylor, we talk about how he did this with Baylor, but you know who had a big hand in doing that? Jerome Tang. If you notice, since Jerome Tang ain't been there, they had the same guys coming through.
They haven't. Yeah, you're right.
He's had a different struggle. He's actually had a different struggle than what he had when Jerome left because Jerome was a bridger. He brought a certain element to the staff. Some guys were just as good, and he's still a good coach. I'm not taking away from him saying he's not a good coach. What I'm suggesting is, yes, you could definitely make the suggestion or imply based off the results that Kenny Payne can't coach, right? As we're saying. But I think also, again, as I've said since the beginning, where he messed up was who he has as assistant coaches. He picked the wrong staff. And you got to find guys where you are weak. You got to find guys who can have a strong point. Even with Cal. Cal was known to be a very hard on you.
Sean, I don't think anybody is saying y'all should keep
KP. We're not saying keep KP at all.
Yeah, not KP.
What I'm saying is when you had Cal, he was very hard on you. DeMarcus Cousins tell you, John Wall will tell you, like guys tell you how hard he was on you. Well, KP was the guy to come in and kind of be like, "Come here, brother, let me talk to you." You had that balance. They brought a difference.
Good cop, bad cop.
I feel like the assistant coaches and that synergy is just not there for a little bit either.
We can't
stand them. What is she doing? That's what they talking. But I mean, but you know what? That you say is the same thing that was the case with Louisville football when my former coach Steve Craigthorpe took over. Nice guy. And what I tell you, Perry, when he took over, I said he's got to have somebody else to be the enforcer because at Tulsa it was Coach Graham. And initially, I guess what was your defensive coordinator was supposed to be that person, and it just didn't mesh together. So it could be what you're having right now with KP as well. I agree with you too, PJ, that his staff is not it at all. And Dietrich, you had a great point as well. It has changed. I mean, you don't have. And here's the thing. Because of NIL, because you can buy players pretty much, and you have the portal available to you. Everything has to be instant. You guys were talking about don't have time to develop anybody. KP is one of the best developers in the game of basketball. Of course, as a head coach now, you're not going to be on that end, but when it's this microwave society, and that microwave society's got it even faster now. Ain't no developing. It's just bam, win right now.
Now I'm gonna give kudos because I think
I don't know what Perry's doing.
I think
raising both my hands.
No, I think Perry brought this up a couple of episodes ago. How he wished Kenny Payne had went to maybe a lower tier school or had some other head coaching experience because the speed he was having to develop, just even a team philosophy, even his own coaching philosophy, did he just try to mimic everything he did at Kentucky? And the question that I have to those who've watched him closely is what actual coaching mistakes is he making, right? Is it clock management? Is it substitution management? Is it overall offense? Is it defensive philosophy? Like, what is he doing that's so bad as a coach? I can
answer that in one word.
Go ahead.
What is he doing so bad as a coach? Coaching.
But see, coaching is a million different things. Head coaching.
No. And it's all under that one umbrella, and then he's failing it all.
Yeah.
He's not connecting with the players. The players are not meeting his demands or his ask or even his begs on how to run his offense. Sometimes they'll look legit. You can hear him in the press conferences afterwards saying, I told the players to do this and this, and they didn't do this, this, and this, and that. And that sounds bad coming from a coach. You're basically saying, I drew something up for my players and they did not do it because they did not want to do it or they just would not run the play. And he repeated that several times in different post-game press conferences. So he's not, we use the word motivation lightly, and then Lathan, I know you'll come back behind me and say nobody should have to motivate the players. Exactly. So if it's not motivation, then
at this level,
the players at this level, it's the players are not connecting. He's not connecting to the players on a coaching level.
I'll tell you what I think.
One more thing.
Go ahead.
You mentioned development and how development is key. So when he got hired on, they put out flyers and memes, not flyers, but they put out like memes and stuff like that talking about dream makers. And that was his coaching. That was his spiel to the players was, we want to make your dreams come true. And so, nowadays players want to get to the NBA as ASAP in 1 or 2 years. And so, no, Kenny Payne put that out and had he put it out and had players from Duke and UK and blah, blah, and Louisville on the poster. And so his thought process was to try to get people ready for one and done. That's probably what he's telling people in their living rooms is we'll get you done, get you ready, and get you to the NBA, not in 4 years, not in 3 years, but 2 years, or 1 year. So he's failing at developing. He's not even doing that really well. No, BHH, He's developing big men. That's legit.
He definitely looks better.
Is there? And so BHS will probably be the guy that goes on free agency. But look at all the other big men around him, and it's taken him 2 years and 3 summers with BHS.
Who's the other big?
That's what it takes.
Who's the other big?
He's got the African dude that he picked up last year in mid-year. He's got the 7 foot 4 or 7 foot
Dennis Evans.
That's gone.
Look how long he worked with Willie Cauley-Stein.
One more guy.
Dennis
He's got
hurt.
Jason Osborne's son, who's been in the program. This is probably his 5th year in the program. So Payne has had him for 3 summers now.
So, but here, Will, you know this because we coached. no matter how good you are developing, there are guys who are just never going to be that good.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all know that. I don't know.
Yes.
If it's like a
No,
thing
we
that
know
y'all
that.
think.
We
There-
know
there's
know
that.
that.
guys
Nobody's
like-
saying that.
Payne just has a lot of those guys.
You just got, but here's the thing. Even I think people misread some stuff too, because even at UK, what you said, Dietrich, which made a lot of sense too, that I think is being missed, is he was specifically known for the development of the big guys. Y'all knew who was on staff until 2013? Ross Strickland. He may not to touch a guard. Ross Strickland was there. We didn't need nobody else to touch the guard.
Yeah.
You had one of the best. Who's y'all's guy? Nolan Smith. Who's doing a horrible? Wasn't even the best guy at Duke. Come on, brother.
Right.
I will go back
By
to
the way,
what
again,
everybody else
a
said.
horrible staff. A horrible
Start on
staff.
a lower level.
Horrible staff. I mean, I agree. I could agree to that start.
I agree with that.
Nolan
Yeah.
Smith
Horrible
needed to
staff.
start on a lower
Horrible
level.
staff.
Maybe it's Calipari's fault.
Evans is injured, isn't he? Isn't he injured?
Yeah, he's injured right now.
Yeah, he's injured.
And what did wait, Will, did you remember telling them? I said, what thing about him is you're going to need time. He's not ready. He's been playing basketball for a couple of years. He's going to need time. Even we had who was the guy? Nick Richards. He'd been playing the basketball for 3 years. People expected him to come in and dominate because the people ranked him high because of his potential of what they
30
see.
some odd points.
Yeah, just on his body. Just for his body and his frame. Yeah.
After 3 years, he turned out to be a pretty nice big. Shout out to Kobe for ending that, to seeing where he would go with that. But he ended up being a draft pick. But he needed time, just like Dennis. He needs time, but y'all don't have time right now. I think that's the
they don't have time.
They're not giving him time.
That's the biggest problem.
We've given him almost 2 seasons.
You know what? Dietrich, the only reason why I can't get with that is because last season, what y'all win 4 games. This season, y'all won 6 games.
That's not time right there. That's a miracle. He needs miracles.
Yeah.
The other thing, the team is not improving on any level. You can't show me one bit of improvement other than the schedule. Ooh, we beat 2 more teams. You can't show me one bit of improvement they've had since last year. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing.
You said something too, and this is actually where I meant to go, and I lost my train of thought. Was when you talk about the climate has changed with the NIL, it has, because now you're coaching. You have to coach different layers of different things, because there was stuff involved, but even with the UK, we had issues with NIL with people making money. It happens on our team. It happens on everybody's team. Now, I think, first of all, let's get this correct. Sky Clark was a Nolan Smith move, right? Nolan Smith move. Now, you go get a guy that's played at 5 different high schools in 4 years. He's already going to his 3rd school he's going to commit to in college. 2nd one that he's going to play for with the NIL in factor, and that's going to be your captain of your team. Horrible assistance. Shout out to Duke.
Yeah.
They knew what they were doing, letting him go. They knew what they were doing. Y'all want Nolan? Y'all want Nolan? Take him. Y'all can have him. Don't touch the other ones. Like,
I'll tell you,
that was a horrible decision. That's like getting Devin Askew, but better.
I'm just looking at some stuff. You guys are 271st in points per game. You guys are tied for 299th in rebounds per game. Y'all are 396 in assists per game. I mean, I'm just like, wow. You know,
to their credit, they're going to do better next year, because as you did mention,
at this point, I don't think you have a choice.
I mean, not just that, but when you're in this position, you're going to go after whatever just is going to improve the team. That's why I do think Chris Beard probably be the coach. He might be the coach, because at this point, it's like, what else do we have to lose?
You have nothing to lose. at all. You have nothing to lose. This is
I don't think they're going to get Chris Beard simply for the PR fiasco that would follow because of the stuff that went down with Mac, the stuff that went down with Patino, the stuff that went down with Petrino. You know, all of that is you got that hanging over your head. So they're going to want to get somebody that's going to be straight laced.
Even when you're removed from from all that, being now he's the coach of Ole Miss, you see they're not really talking about it at Ole Miss right now.
Well, see,
Ole Miss is winning. Winning makes everything go away.
Yeah.
That's all it
that
is.
And the
winning.
fact that Ole Miss hasn't had any scandals, back-to-back scandals like Louisville has, so they're not under the petri dish, under the microscope.
Andy Kennedy there, and he had a player that was high and drunk during games and stuff like that. I mean, they've had their own share of scandals, but like I said, winning clears up everything.
Yeah,
people got quiet again after Patino's thing with the lady Portofino's. They got quiet once we got to another Final Four. You know, it quieted down. You know,
because we had the Chris Port. What was the basketball? We had his thing. It was a scandal after a scandal after a scandal with Louisville. That was the thing.
It was.
I mean, that's the
thing. Really was.
It was. I mean, the Patino chick at the restaurant thing was followed up by the basketball player that did his thing, or that was involved with something. Chris Jones, yes. And then that followed up. Then the Katrina Barbie thing came out, and then it was just one after another, one after another after another. So Louisville, we've had the decade of change.
The pressure to win, the pressure to win.
That's terrible.
I think is the source of all of the issues.
He's laughing while he's like, "That's terrible."
That's terrible. I mean, man, it's like they didn't learn, and it's just like, okay, let's do something else, and we're gonna see if we can get away with it. All right, let's do something else and see if we. It's like because I remember all of these scandals, and I'm just like, are you for real? Surely they're gonna fire him. No, they ain't gonna fire him. Something else happened. What in the world? Like I was just like, it's
pressure.
Is that what it is?
It's a pressure. It's a climate of pressure. It's little brother syndrome.
It's an epidemic over there.
They see Kentucky hanging a banner. They see Kentucky in multiple Final Fours. They see Kentucky.
No.
Let me finish.
Here we go.
Let me
BJ,
finish.
your daughter still ain't seen a UK.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
Hey, for a while though, she didn't see a season without a Louisville scandal. So
that too.
So when Louisville began to be relevant in the postseason again, when Rick Pitino kind of got their mojo back at Louisville, it makes people turn a blind eye because they were successful, and the pressure to win makes people go, you know what? He's doing his job. I'm not. Because let me tell you, this stuff wasn't happening in a vacuum, right? There was scuttlebutt on campus. This person talking. People knew, right? Just like they caught the assistant and the Uber driver. Man, we knew, right? People knew what was going on. The assistant
Uber driver.
The assistant was an Uber driver. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
No, we don't.
Driving Uber.
They didn't catch him doing nothing. He was just driving Uber. They didn't catch him, but they caught him on a surprise interview.
Time out.
He was fired. He wasn't with the program anymore.
Time out. Before we continue, Dietrich, you gotta give us the whole story at the beginning. I have no clue what you're talking about.
Okay. The assistant that was kind of in the middle, ex-assistant that was kind of in the middle of setting up a lot of the Katrina Powell stuff was fired. He was driving Uber in another part of the country.
You're wrong.
Somebody was driving Uber.
No,
you're wrong.
Who was driving Uber?
He was driving Uber.
It was Andre McGee. But
it was years after he had been fired.
He had been fired.
To chase him down.
Right.
Yeah, he
was he driving Uber or was it Lyft?
You make it sound like he was driving Uber while he was a University of Louisville
assistant. No. This was after.
First off, number one. First off, I can't remember if he was fired before the scandal.
No, he was gone because they were intentionally trying to find him to do an interview with him, and this is how they locked him down. All I was saying with that point is there were plenty of people who knew what was going on. Yeah. And the pressure to win cause people to turn a blind eye. Now, I'm going to be honest. There have been stories at Kentucky where people turned a blind eye, where people have gotten rides home. We're letting them off with a warning.
Memphis and UMass.
I mean, this happens. This happens in collegiate sports, but
period.
Hey, the pressure just kept going, and they thought they had immunity to do whatever they want as long as they kept winning.
Okay,
and that just wasn't the case.
So let's go ahead and move on because we're 45 minutes in and we just keep talking about Louisville, what happened in Louisville. So, hey, just take inventory. We ain't got to have a long drawn out.
I want to say one more thing because I was late. One more thing because I was late.
But that's your penalty.
You should have been
here.
That is your flag. Where's the whistle? Where is the whistle?
You got 20 seconds.
20 seconds. 20 seconds. 20 seconds.
Whistle. No, he don't get that.
Kenny Payne. I do think Kenny Payne will not be back next season. I don't think they get a big name to take his place. I think they get a gap filler, a seat filler to stabilize. They get their version of Rich Brooks, right? Somebody who just stabilizes. And then they go for a big name.
I heard you, Perry.
That's it.
Hey, can we get our applause? Because, we have one, and don't get offended, guys, but we have the bottom left of your screen, guys, is a reasonable Kentucky fan. And then we got the top one is a real blue fan. And he's going to get out the Louisville. He might say something crazy. And then on the other side, we got a. Is he reasonable? Sometimes Perry's reasonable. Sometimes he's not.
I'm reasonable. Don't front,
and then Richard going to say something. Well, what about he going to go off the rails a little bit. So, all right, but let's go ahead and change gears. But everybody agrees that KP is not here next year, correct?
I hope so.
Yeah,
correct. I hope so, but
unless their money is really bad.
Go to the Super Bowl and look what happened. So we don't know.
So Louisville fans, we try to throw you guys a bone and not really go into the crux of the Louisville and Virginia game and the Louisville and Duke game. All right. So if you guys complain, say, hey, we didn't talk enough about it, hey, throw that on me.
Okay. Well, first off, before you switch gears, let me just say this: it wasn't so much as the Virginia game. I think in the hearts of UofL fans, it was the Wake Forest game.
It was the Wake Forest. I agree with
Wake Forest game because we haven't been able to beat Virginia. I think we've only beat Virginia once since joining the ACC. So we anticipated losing to them again, and again, it was a terrible game. But I think the Wake Forest game really shocked us all. That was a game that, oh my God, we let Wake Forest put 30 on us like that. What? Yeah. That's what really just forget it.
And it wasn't, you barely lost. It wasn't a close loss. This is 90-65, and it's just like, okay. And I agree with you because after that, I said, okay, KP's done. He had the feel good game against Miami, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, y'all can make it two games in a row with NC State. You barely lost that. Didn't think that you'll beat North Carolina at all. But Wake Forest, I was just like, that took the wind out of my sails as a Kentucky. All right. But so big ups to Louisville. Hopefully, well, I shouldn't say that, but hopefully you guys are better next year with another coach. Switch gears. All right. So last week, Kentucky Wildcats, we in this 4 games that we missed. It's been about 4 games. Kentucky is 3-1 in there. We got a good win against Mississippi State. Got a really good win against Georgia. And against Georgia, I think you start seeing that Kentucky – well, not start seeing. Everybody knew, but it was really, really blatant then that, Kentucky has an elite offense, scored 105 points that game, but then you give up 96 points. It's just like this defense – and at one point, this defense was like, number 70 in the nation or something like that. I think that they jumped up a bunch of spots after playing Arkansas, which is the best defensive game this season. Hopefully they can continue to follow that up. But the defensive issues that you've seen in that Georgia game, it came up again against South Carolina. And I think that even though Kentucky's offense was not humming like it usually is, usually shooting a good percentage or whatever, but against South Carolina, balls just didn't fall. that's going to happen when you're a great offensive team. You're going to have off nights, and you got to have your defense to pick you up. Defense just wasn't there. Wasn't there at all. I think in this stretch, we did see some games where we did need Adu. Adu came back. He didn't produce like we thought he would against Arkansas, but hey, it's his first game back. So you can give him some slack on there. PJ, some positives in this stretch, this 4-game stretch. Some positives there.
Yeah, I mean, you cover a little bit of as far as like watching them offensively against Georgia. I had a different perspective as far as defensively that Georgia game. I thought what you seen was we got around to that close to 10-minute mark and we have 95 points. And we was up
crazy.
25. They started coasting. You could tell they weren't locked in anymore. They were kind of good. They kind of came down off the high of Z coming in. And that's a whole nother topic because I think and I think I mentioned this too. I said, I like what I've seen, but I want to see what happens in the next game. Because he's still adjusting to the game. And I think these last 2 games weren't his type of games until he gets more continuity into the flow of the game, where a game like Georgia he could flow into. A game like Florida this Wednesday, he could jump into. And then based on how he does against Florida Wednesday night, you'll see, okay, can he play against Tennessee? Because Tennessee's going to play very physical as well. But overall, I think I'm not a fan of the whole we needed this loss thing. I'd rather learn from a win. But as far as what I believe that South Carolina game did, though, was it served a nice piece of humble pie because even the way they played, and mind you, they still have a character about them, but I don't think they realized how a night like that could happen to them that quickly. As far as you come in and play a really solid defensive. Shout out to Coach Lamont at South Carolina. He executed a great game plan. I mean, he had probably. I remember one of the coaches saying, "Man, this is probably one of the most detailed game plans I've seen against Kentucky this year," and it was very good. Now, to your credit, what you said,
they kept saying that was the blueprint.
And but also, and to your credit, what you mentioned that was true to me when you go back and watch the film, they just missed shots also that they usually make. It wasn't necessarily South Carolina was like, oh, they so good, they just stopping them. Man, they were missing shots. They were missing bunnies. Even against Arkansas, same thing. They were missing shots that they normally make. And so they need the defense to step up. And I think I remember it was a 13-minute mark, man. He scored. Trey Mitchell had scored a little fadeaway jumper. It was 40-45. When they came down and hit the 3, with 12 minutes starting to go to 12 minutes left, you seen a click, and they went straight to hero ball. It was no more moving the ball.
Yes.
And then they started pressing on defense to try to get stops, and they were becoming even more undisciplined on defense. And that's when the game momentum was already on South Carolina's side. That's when it started stretching out a little bit. And so I was glad to see the defensive effort they gave out against Arkansas on Saturday to show that they kind of reined it back in a little bit.
Yeah. Cal said that they did a lot of scrimmaging, a lot of going at each other, and I think it actually showed. Definitely showed. Dietrich, let me get your thoughts on Big Z. Let me get his first game against Georgia, and then coming back down to earth against South Carolina and Arkansas. What are your thoughts on Big Z?
My thoughts are he's everything as that he's been advertised as being a very effective inside player. People are gonna, like you said, it was only his first game back. It was a good game for him. The second game as Georgia was a little tougher. But people are going to start to game around him because he did make an impact. So they're going to be planning. They're going to be planning for him. I've got an issue with all 3 of our big men and their hands in the low post, catching the ball, receiving passes, and then getting quickly and even rebounding. I find that that their hands are a little. I'm questioning their hands. All their feet looks great from what I've been seeing. All their feet looks great, but connecting their hands and their feet
like a curve.
Yeah, we've been missing in the last game. We missed like several. What does he say? No, we missed like several close-up layups. Like that's all hands. If you that means your hands are you're not handling the ball correctly because they're fumbling it as they go up. They don't have solid grip on it as they're not going strong once they're in the middle. So I want to see our hands get better for all three of our big men. But I do want to say about that South Carolina game. That South Carolina game, and the Hero Ball. Hero Ball helped us against, I think, North Carolina. What was it? North Carolina or Duke we beat a couple of weeks ago. Was it North Carolina or Duke?
North Carolina?
Yeah, North Carolina. Where we did a lot of ISOs at the end, and it actually helped us.
I was like, Duke.
No, it wasn't Duke. It was North Carolina. But a lot of ISOs at the end that helped to ice the game, right? They helped push through. People saw those ISOs, and they're like, you're not going to ISO us. You're not going to drive the lane. You're not going to, you're not going to get that cross drive where you drive from the right, but you score on the left. You're not getting that. So they bunched right at the free throw line, 2 to 3 players. And it's like every time you go in, you're getting help defense. You get help defense every single time. Now, that killed us in South Carolina, and that's why we lost that game. Now, Arkansas mimicked that, but I saw us adjust. I saw us adjust. When they went to the Hero Ball midway through the second half, you saw them drive and then look for the off the ball skip pass. It was
you talking about against Arkansas?
Against Arkansas. And that's why you saw Mitchell knocking down shots. That's why you saw Shepard knocking down shots, because when Reeves and our guards started to make downhill drives and they got clustered, they got 2 and 3 defenders on them, they were able to find the open man, which they did not do at all against South Carolina. It was like they're just driving and clutch.
No, yeah,
they're just bundled.
They worked on DJ definitely. So DJ, and if you watched him again, I've watched him with Camden. So with DJ, when he comes off the screen, he's turning the corner. His head is down sometimes because
his head is down.
He has a knack for getting to the rim. That's what he's always been.
He's used to being able to finish.
So, but and even more to that, like they're working with him on, just keep your head up past it, instead of going straight to the rim. If it's not there, keep your head up to see where everybody is. They definitely adjusted to it. But I like what Max said, because that was my point with Z, was the games that are physical. He's still adjusting to the American game. Remember, I brought that up. A lot of international players have to adjust to the American game. And UCLA is definitely going through that. Now, for Z, I think this Florida game is definitely the game that fits more of his build. That he could probably get in and see some more action. But I also think it's the continuity of playing with the guys in a real game. We talk about the people dropping the ball with the hands. To me, that's because in our practices, first of all, you didn't have the bodies all the year long, and they haven't been as physical because of that reason. So now you're having to play the contact. And that's what I was telling somebody who was watching the game. I said, man, it looks like when we drive South Carolina game, even against Arkansas for a while. Now, mind you, Arkansas had some non-calls that were kind of insane. But nonetheless, you can tell our guys were
people on the ground, knocked to the ground, no call.
Yeah, but you gotta, and that's the thing. It's hard to tell somebody. It's easy to tell them to do it. It's harder to do it. They were telling them play through the contact, and you could tell now they're adjusting. Everybody's going to do that. Actually, to me, Texas A&M was the game where they said we're going to play you physical. Now everybody's going to be, and we're already in a physical league. They're going to play you physical, but what's kind of difficult to.
But I think that's part of the blueprint. Everybody's going to try.
But it's hard to navigate it because of the fact of how the whistle is called. If I'm playing at Florida and the whistle's called like this, and I go on the road to Texas A&M, now the whistle's called like this, it is hard to navigate because you are expecting
definitely
stuff.
Is.
So now you have to fight through those things, man.
So here's the beauty of having all three guys back.
Go ahead.
Well, here's the beauty of having all three inside guys back and playing, plus the arrow back, plus Mitchell in there. So we've got a front court that really can get aggressive. You can get aggressive and get some aggression fouls. Go ahead and get a charge. Go ahead and get. We don't have 4 fouls to give. We got 16, right? Yeah, we got 16. So you can get more aggressive. You don't have to play reserved. Go ahead and go right in the chest of somebody and go ahead and get a foul. But let them know that I'm here to play and I'm here to be physical.
Perry.
Yep.
So I'm gonna put you on the spot right here. I don't know why I did that. I just did. I'm gonna put you on the spot right here. You are the Louisville coach. You are Kenny Payne. You're getting ready to play this rival.
No, we were done with this, man. Why are you going back to this sad?
Just hear me out. You get ready to play against this Kentucky team right here. What is the blueprint to beat them? What do you think can beat this team?
I'm not Kenny Payne. Nobody.
Okay, you are Rick Pitino. All right, is that better?
Okay, that's better.
All right, Rick Pitino.
All right, so be physical with them because they're young boys. Be physical with them. Make your shots.
Denny Crum.
5 guards.
When you make your shots.
Villanova strategy.
Yeah, 5 guards works too.
The
Make them
Villanova
run.
strategy.
Make them run, and then make them play. Make them play full court. If you got to get into a half court,
forward.
Make them play a half court situation.
Okay.
If you got to get into a half court, make them play a half court situation. Make them chase you. I would like to see how UK does against a real good sound set like Princeton type offense where there's a lot of passing. You know, sometimes you could make up for that with your athleticism, but I want to see it. You know, the guy that's that's
not bad actually
is Reed Shepherd. That guy is like he's the one that erases a lot of stuff. So if you don't have the length to face him down, you don't have the length to face him on offense and defense, then it's going to be an uphill battle.
So hold on, what do you mean by that? He's the guy that erases a lot.
Because
of stuff.
he's long, he's fast. You
say Reed Shepherd is long?
He's not watching the games.
He's long.
Thank
you, PJ. Thank you, PJ. I needed that. I'm not watching the games. I'm not.
No, we're UofL fans. We're UofL fans. We don't want to watch
that. Jeff Shepherd was long. Reed Shepherd is not.
Shepherd. Did I say Reed Shepherd? Reed Shepherd is 6'3". He's got length. I've seen him still. I've seen his anticipation is really good on the wings. I've seen him make steals where you would think there was going to be a steal. So that's what I mean by I won't say he's an elite defender because I haven't seen him one-on-one somebody.
He's got elite hands. He's got elite hands.
He's not a good. I'm gonna say this. He reminds me, and he reminds me of a lesser version of Ashton Hagans, and I say that respectively because one, you don't have to always compare somebody to another white player. I don't believe in that. And to me, Ashton wasn't actually as great of a defender as people think. What covered it up was how many steals he got. Now he was because he was a good gambler.
Because he's a good ball handler. Yeah,
he was a good gambler for the most part. Reed is similar in that Reed is a good gambler. He has good instincts, but when it comes to just guarding the guy. And it also
I've seen him get a block on the perimeter from somebody that was shooting a 3-pointer. That's good.
You talking about staying in front of a guy? It's tough. And not only that, off ball.
Man, I had one in my mouth.
Off ball, he has. Also, actually, there's times literally, even South Carolina game. I remember Cal Turner get him out of the game. Get him out of the game because he didn't even belong on the court at one point. Because of how he plays, those gambles, they're either going to bless you.
What was it, Jackson or whoever the guy's name was blowing by him and then Tomahawk dunking at the rim? I mean, it was crazy.
And that's again, I'm not saying Reed is a awful defender, but I'm just saying
he's y'all's version of Haley Van Lake Life. That's our women on the women team.
he has good instincts. He has good instincts, and the base is there for him, but he gambles, and so what people see is they see the steal numbers. And they assume that he's like Tony Allen. And I'm like, that's actually nowhere near the case.
Well, I was going to say before I was interrupted that the other person would be Dillingham. He is a unique package. He does defend fairly well on ISOs. He does get out in space, and he does make his shots. When he does make his shots, he can get hot. He's y'all's version of Russ Smith, somebody who can be completely unpredictable. And really get points in bunches like, Vinny the Microwave for the Pistons. I don't know if anybody remembers him, but he does get points in a hurry. So, but again, we saw UK, a lot of people got overwhelmed with UK's initial wave of talent. A lot of teams, now that you have film on them, you can sort of game for them a little bit better. And so it's going to be interesting to see. Everybody says, well, these games are all Super Bowls for everybody, but it's not a Super Bowl when a team comes into Rupp Arena and plays really well. That's not their Super Bowl. They're just trying to survive, and once they get to believing that they can win, then it's over. Then they can be, then they become that on that competitive level, because I don't think UK is ever going to get it completely together under Cal, because of the thing with 4 years and having to have multiple years, or at least 2 or 3 years in a specific system. So to me, there's always going to, now, Sean, we don't want like most of them. Tell them.
They won't
for real.
We don't want like
come
most
on,
of them.
dude. Come on, man.
But I'm going to stop with that, because I don't want people thinking I'm trying to badmouth Cal. I'm just saying that it's hard to consistently win when you're having to replace your guys over and over again. So when you have a lot of film on the current year's players, you can sort of prepare for them a little bit better. And so only really, really bad teams or really, really bad coaches won't be competitive at this stage. And Lathan, I'll just make this last point and shut up. I said this, years ago, with the newer, with better coaches coming in, those guys they pay more attention to details than your coaches that are, that your younger coaches. And so it's going to be, you're not going to see these like old school dominant UK teams that were beating everybody by 20 and 30 in the SEC. The SEC actually, as Phil was saying earlier, in chat, they've gotten a lot better. You got 8 teams in the net, in the top, top 25 net. You said it too. Yeah. They've gotten a lot better. So those that are expecting to have a hard time preparing for UK, it's not that hard. You got a lot of guys that are athletic, that are trying to find their way as pieces. And I think Cal is putting it together.
Cal's offense is not complex.
It's not. So it's not hard to defend against.
I will say,
it's hard to defend.
Hold on, he's made some adjustments, and I think for people who are not really basketball fans, you're not going to see the adjustments, because it's just Cal. That's Cal. It's dribble drive. No, he's made adjustments to their offense, and this is what I was saying to even what Will said. Yes, they played a great defensive game. South Carolina's are really one of the best defensive teams in the country. They played a good defensive game. They also play very physical. But if you go back and watch the game again, that's all I can say. And I know y'all don't watch it, so it's hard to explain it to you all. They were missing shots.
Yes,
that they normally make. The best game plan I've seen against Kentucky so far, out of the 2 games, UNC Wilmington, we shouldn't have lost that game. Bad loss, bad defense. Didn't have our starting point guard, who I think actually moves the needle for us. Whether people like it or not, because they rather see replay, DJ moves the needle for UK when he's on the court, especially against teams like UNC Wilmington. But against Kansas specifically, against Texas A&M, against even South Carolina, and all of our losses, I'll tell you, yes, defense has been a problem. But the best game plan has been, I hope they miss. Because right now, there really hasn't really been an answer. People are going to say South Carolina was the answer because they scored 62 points. Then they'll go watch you play against Arkansas, and you'll say, actually, they had the same shots. They were just missing them.
Yeah.
They played better defense against Arkansas on the road. And then, mind you, Arkansas is they have a more of a issue, right? A synergy right now issue. But they have better, when I say basket creators than South Carolina does, for sure. And our biggest struggle has been man defense, stand in front of our man. They played a pretty good man defense on a team that has way more creators in South Carolina. And so to me, I take that as a positive. The best thing you have again, play physical against UK. You definitely want to try to muck up the paint, try not to give easy plays, but you got to hope that they miss.
So Cal's offense
because I was going to say, because they say that South Carolina has the blueprint. And, of course, we've seen Arkansas try to use that same blueprint. But at the end of the day, like you said, it was the results was different, but it came down to, hey, we started making shots towards the end. Now, I know you don't want me to say it, but Reed got in that point guard position, started dishing where you say dribbling.
Hey, Reed played really good.
We was making those shots, Against South Carolina, we just didn't do that. It was a us problem.
Cal's offense is simple, but it has progressions, right? So you progress out of the simple actions, right? So your initial dribble drive, right? You have choices, you have options, and then you progress the ball through the other players, right? So you progress the ball. If you can't get the inside shot, then you go outside, then you're swinging, then you're resetting, then you're looking to dump it in, right? There's progressions, right? It's almost very similar to a quarterback with progressions on a pass, right? Here's my option A, here's my option B, option C. What happened in the South Carolina loss? They kept going for option A and never making adjustments. And what I saw with Arkansas, the same thing had begun to happen. Like you said, the same defensive package was run against this team, but they began to progress in the offense to the next option. And that's when you saw Mitchell get off. That's when you saw Reed distributing. That's when you saw a lot of good things happening when they said, hey, our option A is down. Now we're going to B, C, and we're making the adjustment.
Well, if you notice, in two of the losses that we had was the two games where we had way lower assists.
Yes,
they just weren't passing the ball. You know, you pass the ball.
That's how you access the options. Yeah.
So the goat said this. The goat said this. Don Staley. She said that this is what it is. She said, if you play a good team, you're not going to really be able to run necessarily your initial offense. What actually happens is what you're mentioning is, you know what I'm about to run, but a good team's going to stop that initial offense. And then after a while, if you can't get to that other option, it becomes where it really becomes down to is, can your player make the right read? When it comes down, it all breaks down. It comes down, can they make the right read? So what they did with Reed is, okay, he made a couple threes. So he didn't make a shot yet when it came to South Carolina. He was struggling. He wasn't being aggressive enough. They worked on him being more aggressive. You seen that he was actually trying to drive it to, even they took him out. I don't know if y'all seen it. They took him out because he had a lane and he settled for this weak little floater. I said, you gotta
but that's his thing. Big games, he shrinks.
After that, he started going to the cup. So now you're at a problem, because when Trey is setting the screen, who can hit a three and pop, when Reed is the person who's operating that can shoot the ball, but he also quick enough to get to the rim, and you got another guy that can shoot, it puts you at, bro, thank you, Max. They're running different things, bro. The people who don't know basketball, they don't even realize that they have literally changed their offense. He's literally changed, and it's not because of Welch, as people try to say. Welch didn't change the offense. No, this is Cal's doing. Welch is there for development reasons.
That's what they said. It was Cal.
But anyways, thank you, Max. Thank you, Max. I appreciate you. Thank you. Somebody else is watching basketball. So look, at the end of the day, they made hold
on. I got another for you.
Hey, look.
Kenny ain't made an adjustment in 2 seconds.
Hey, look. But they made that decision with Reed. It caused.
That was funny about he ain't got time. He's had plenty of time.
It caused struggle for Arkansas. As far as how do they combat that. I think you're going to see that with Kentucky more, and that was without having one of your sparks, with having Rob Dillingham, right? You were still able to go out there and put something together, and I love that we was able to win a game in the 60s. That's what I was waiting for. Can we win a game in the 60s? Yeah, it was Arkansas. Arkansas beat the second best team in the ACC at home, and without one of their better players.
And see, and that's the thing, though. That's the thing, because when you get into the tournament, you're going to find all types of matchups. So you got to be able to win multiple ways. So we know we can win the fun and gun way. All right, now can we grind one out? We won. Yeah. We finally won one in the 60s. I mean, it was Arkansas who's not having a great year, but that was a good win, road win.
They're doing horrible by blue blood standards. Arkansas is. They're doing horrible.
I wouldn't call them blue blood, though.
I don't know about that.
10-10.
Come on.
They're not a blue blood, by blue blood standards. They're doing horrible. By championship team standards, they're doing horrible at 10-10.
Yeah, I mean, they're 1-6 in conference.
I'd take a 10-10 over right now.
That's how bad we really are.
Give a point.
We would take 10-10.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a point for that one. I'm going to give you a point for that.
Listen. 3 weeks ago, Dietrich said, man, at least we gonna win 8 games. He was talking about football. And he was talking about us.
I was talking about basketball.
And I'm like, man, you were talking about basketball, but you were making a statement about the football. And you were saying our football team will win 8 games, as in y'all basketball team will, and I don't think we're gonna win 8 games.
No, I don't.
Crazy.
I don't.
We're gonna double our wins
about
from
this
last
NIL situation.
Go ahead, PJ.
What's crazy is that we just talked about this NIL situation, right? How you have to have everything quick in a hurry. Dietrich mentioned, right? Here's a coach who literally went out and bought his whole entire roster, handpicked. He literally offered probably about 28 guys in the portal. He had a whole new team. He had a whole new team. He has a whole new team.
Money.
Again, here's money. Again, and this is my thing where I I understand.
He did offer every guy in the portal for real, literally.
I do agree that we should have more championships. In that sense, right? I do believe there have been failures that we've had, but the disrespect that often happens when it comes to playing with a new team every year is crazy. Because that man, here's Muss, who everybody has put on this hype. Oh, he might be the best coach in the SEC. He's this, he's that, and here he is with a whole new roster of guys who are good at the colleges they came from, and he's 10-10. And had a player quit. And had a player quit.
He's having a
2020.
He's having a Calipari 2021 year.
No, that's not the same. It's not the same.
Come on, man.
He had redid his whole roster.
We did not. Hold on, no. We didn't get every single guy we wanted. Actually, if it was up to us, we would have had Cade.
He didn't get everybody he wanted either. I'm sure he didn't. I mean,
I think he cut out. He cut out. But I'll say this though. People, okay, so he's talking about the different roster every year. That's one of the things where Cal's great at, because when you get these new rosters, how do they fit? This is a puzzle. I got to put this puzzle together, and I got to make them great. I don't have that long of the time to do it. You practice for a couple of months before your first game. He does it year after year after year, putting these guys together. How do they fit together? How do they play together as a team? I don't think anybody in a nation is better than Cal at that part.
Well, I think that goes to the scouting reports too, and the people who are evaluating players ahead of time, because when you get real good intel, real good information on what a player does well, what he doesn't do well, what areas we feel like this player can improve on, once you get a lot of good looks and evaluation on a player, I think that helps a lot to get to that point. Because yes, Cal is making the right decision, but he's getting good intel. He's getting good information from the people who are evaluating these players.
Oh yeah. I mean, anytime he has 6 guards on the team right now, that each of them give you something different. And it's like, if I need this, okay, this person can't do it, I got this other person. And then now you go to the big men, the 3 big men. They all give you something different. It's like, and I think I put this in chat, in order to do that, somebody has to be doing a really thorough job in saying, Cal, no, these ain't the same type of players. All right, if we need shooting, we can move over to this person. We don't need this person. This person is going to be a better driver, but this is going to be a better addition. I mean, they got all the details, the intricate details on this, not just in the guards, but also in the big men. And it's crazy. It's crazy. I haven't seen Kentucky do that before. Now, I'm not getting ready to predict, because I know Perry said that just means that y'all should win 38 games and win a national title. You can't really say that. And fingers crossed, I'm hoping that happens. But we got a lot of answers. And it's a good problem to have. We got a lot of answers for a lot of
And
people.
the type of game that I want to see us win is a true physical muscle game. On the inside, I want to see a backboard pounding type of game, where our 7-footers are going to the rack. I want to see somebody get dunked on. That's the type of game I'm waiting to see out of them. I haven't seen it yet.
I think it's coming.
To see that.
Yeah. I think it's coming. I think with Big Z, he just got to get – Cal even said it. He's just got to get up to speed with them, playing with them in game speed, that whole chemistry deal. I think he'll get there at some point. I think when it comes to playing physical, I think Uganda is going to be that man even over at Aaron Bradshaw, playing physical on his inside. And I thought that I would like Aaron Bradshaw a lot more than I do, but Uganda, I'm like – put that joke in just because of defense. I mean, he's not going to go out there and pop the 3 like Aaron would. I mean, Aaron only made 2, I believe. So they Big Z made more than he did in one game. But at the same time, he stretched the floor a little bit. Uganda's not going to give that to you, but that's the big that I want in there right now.
I want to see our bigs play closer to the Detroit Pistons than to the old school Celtics. I want to see these guys with more heart, more grit. Because we can now. Now, you mentioned Bradshaw. I don't know if he's got that grit in him yet, but I'd love to see him turn it on. I think he can. Yeah. I think once he realizes how long his arms are, when he's going in he's curling off the block and can cram it in somebody's face.
I think you are correct. Go ahead, Dietrich.
No, I just want to see the aggressiveness.
Read my mind.
Yeah, I want to see the
Read my mind,
aggressiveness on the inside.
Read my mind.
I'm gonna say this though. I think again, kind of goes back to the whole development thing, right? Sometimes we want out of players what they just aren't. There's certain guys who that's just not who they are. Like for instance, Aaron. I think Aaron was playing aggressive. He gets dumb fouls still, but he played aggressive, rebounding aggressively against South Carolina. But there's things with Aaron, and I said this before we started the season, that I wasn't necessarily as high. I watched him in Camden play a lot, so I wasn't as high on Aaron. I didn't care about the All-American stuff. I don't care about all the rankings and stuff. You got to watch people play the game. Stop watching highlights. Watch them play the game. You'll see what you like. And there were things that we were UK fans were expecting out of Aaron that I felt he's actually not going to provide that. I had people telling me he's the best defensive player since Nerlens Noel, and I'm like, bro, did you not see?
Nah, he's not Noel. No.
no. I'm saying that's what they were saying because they're watching highlights of a 7-footer block shots. Which, if you play 100 games as a 7-footer, you're going to block some shots. I mean, that's common sense. Especially
I'm gonna tell you what I thought. I'm gonna tell you what I thought we was getting with Aaron Bradshaw because I didn't watch him play in high school. All I did was hear about him. I really didn't watch highlights or anything like that of him. But I heard him say, "Nah, I'm a power forward. I'm playing power forward." And then Calipari actually co-signs this, and then other people's like, "Yeah, he can do it." I'm thinking, okay, so this is going to be like a Chet Holmgren type of deal. He's going to be really good offensively. Yeah, I wasn't thinking defensively.
Chet is definitely, but also even in that, and I understand that because that's a lot of fans, right? They don't look at certain nuances of basketball. That Chet is his body movement is something that is unique for 7-footers. That like Willie Cauley-Stein, right? Like you look at Willie look at his highs, his how quick he moved, how agile he was. That wasn't common. That was it was a rarity, and so that's what kind of made him who he was. For Aaron, what I saw personally when I watched him play in Camden was he was slow to the ball. He could get blocks on smaller players, but he's slow to the ball. If you watch him now, he's late on his jumps. I mean, every time, which is why it is more refreshing when you have Uganda. Because, and I said this too, I said the beauty of having all three available is just like our guards. You have different layers of different type of players that are coming in. You try to play hard. Now, my hope is that Aaron reaches as close to his potential as he can because he has value. Just like Uganda has value, just like Z has value. To me personally, I think if all put together, I think Z has the most value out of all of them. Just
definitely.
Because of his height, his length, he brings more altering to the rim than what Aaron brings. He's not as good shot blocker as Uganda, but offensively, total package down low and outside, he's also more advanced than what Aaron is. And so I think, and he's a good passer. So I really want to see them at full strength. This is our first game coming up on full strength, but I also want to see them. It's going to be exciting. Hopefully that by March, all of them have, taken that bump up and trying to see it all come together.
So this whole segment, I think Richard said two things. So I'm gonna give you an opportunity to say something else. Richard, who do you like seeing on the Kentucky basketball roster out there?
DJ.
That's your boy. I got you. I got you. Because with that, I think each of us.
But that's the extent of my UK involvement, my UK support.
I mean, that's cool. It could be because of Milt Wagner. It could be because of Milt Wagner. It could, but it's all cool because my favorite. I mean, he didn't play last game. Is Robert Dillingham. That dude is just—it's a whole experience. It's an entire experience, and I love it when he crashes and burns, and when his heroics when they go in. I'm just like, this man is crazy. Dietrich, I'm gonna give me one. I mean, not Dietrich. Yeah, Dietrich, go ahead. Give me one.
Who do I like?
Yeah.
Diarra.
That's a good one, too.
Diarra, man.
That's a good one, too.
He's just an enforcer, man. Offensively and defensively. He just moves the pile. He's just somebody that it's like things revolve around him in the game in a way that I really like to see him impact.
Question about UofL.
BHH.
I have to get you to talk. I got you.
I like
get you,
BHH.
man.
No, that's the only one he knows.
I like BHH.
I need you to.
Hey, y'all down on Sky Clark, but I like him too. So y'all down on Sky Clark.
Gross. Hey, Will.
Go ahead.
I need you to
Go ahead, PJ.
keep a patch for me. I need you to keep a patch for me for real, for my best player, favorite player right now. I'm gonna tell you why. Antonio.
Who is it? Antonio. Hey.
Because I'm gonna tell y'all why.
Yes.
We talk about development, right? Here's a guy who was supposed to be a solid off the bench piece, and in big games he crashed and burned a lot last year. He was exclusively just a catch and shoot guy on this team. Now, mind you, we've seen that he could do more than that when he was at Illinois State, but it's a different level of basketball.
Chris, it is DJ because it's Milt Wagner's grandson. That's the only reason why he said that.
That's right.
The Louisville connection.
Only UK involvement. That's it.
But what we watched right now with Antonio Reeves is we've literally seen a development of him turning into a 3-level scorer. Literally.
Yes.
To the point to where now I remember they've been arguing on Twitter.
Well, he did stuff the past few games. I said he didn't do that last year.
No, yeah,
he wouldn't do that last year.
He definitely been working. And I think there's argument going on right now because, of course, Tennessee hates Kentucky. Kentucky hates Tennessee. I think it's almost worse than the Louisville-Kentucky rivalry in some instances, especially in basketball.
Actually,
they go at it online all the time. It's crazy. And they're arguing right now because analyst brought up, he said, man, y'all keep talking about Dalton Connect, who arguably been one of the best players in SEC basketball, has been playing phenomenal, right? One of him at UK at one point, right? He's playing phenomenal for Tennessee. And it's like, when you look at his stats, and you go look at Antonio Reeves' stats, like, well, why are we not talking about him as SEC Player of the Year or an All-American? Because his stats are just as good. He's shooting that 40, 50, 90. He's averaging about 20 points. He's averaging the rebounds to go with it. Like, Antonio, man, it was at one point, I told somebody, I said, Antonio Reeves is now a Power 5 basketball player. Because last year he wasn't. Last year, he reminded me of the guy, when you played against low major teams or you played against a team that really wasn't good, he's going to give you a good 30. But, or even in the tournament, like you played against certain teams like that are really aggressive defensively, you count him out. Now, get that man the ball.
Well, I'm telling you, because we could count on the big games last year. He was disappearing. Last game of the season, could he make a shot?
Even earlier in the season. Even early on in this season.
Earlier on this season. Was it
South Carolina?
South Carolina. Hey, I think South Carolina. I think he was our leading scorer. I think. No, it was Dillingham, 16 points. What did he have against South Carolina?
He ain't completely cured. Arkansas is playing on a mid-major level.
He had 15 points. So he was the second leading scorer
he had 15
on the team. He had 15 points.
Here's again,
but
we're not saying guys about to be scoring 30 every single night.
Right.
As far as Arkansas, he gave
24.
Arkansas had more NBA talent last year. He gave them 37. That was his best game, and where we thought, okay, he's here, he's arrived, murdered back down. Once he played, but again, consistently.
Hey, against Texas A&M,
doesn't really happen that often.
Against Texas A&M, we lost that game, but hey, he put in 22 points. He was the leading scorer of that game. I mean, he's one that we can really count on those games now. I think. Hopefully, he continues to be that going forward. All right, so next one, Perry. Give me one UK player.
Shepherd.
DJ's off the board.
Shepherd.
I get you. I get. Hey,
he's
I
clean.
like Shepherd too.
I don't see a guy that talks a lot of trash on the court. I see him come in and play hard. So, Shepherd, Shepherd.
You trolling?
I feel. Nah. Hey, he's keeping it nice and simple. But I like the pick though.
I say his name.
You
all
like
the time.
him because he don't talk trash.
Come on now.
Hey,
come on.
but you know what? I'm just glad that he didn't say something like Justin Edwards just because he ain't been as good, But he said Shepherd. That's a good one. That's a good one.
No,
and you know
I
what?
always say Shepherd's name. Don't I always pump him up?
You do, and I think that's a good one. I really do. I'll give that to you. And you know what? We started this show talking about Louisville basketball. We're going to end this show talking about Louisville basketball. All right, give it up for Louisville. Get up for Louisville. All right, so throwing you the ball, Richard. You first. Give me your favorite Louisville player that you want to say. BHH. He's already off the board for you.
No, I'm gonna go with Mike James.
Mike James? Why Mike James?
Yeah, I like his hustle. I like his energy and his tenacity on the court. He ain't the big star that like the big getting the names like BHH or Scott Clark or But I like his tenacity. I like his hustle. I like his. Hey, I'm trying to do my job and I'm doing it. I like his ability. I do.
I feel you on that. All right, Dietrich. Let me get one for you.
So since
Scott
BHH is
trainer off the table and BHH is off the table.
So wait a minute. Half the starters are off the table. So no, the bench players.
No, what we saying is you only gonna talk about the people that we talk about that we always bring up. Everybody hears
the people that I've seen.
Everybody hears us talk about Trainer and Scott Clark. Come on.
I like Scott Clark.
That you haven't heard us speak about.
So a bencher, okay. I don't know.
No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know who gets 3 minutes a game for you. No, I do like Scott Clark. I do think he needs to be in a better situation. He's a consistent scorer, and I think when I say a better situation, when I say a better situation,
we don't have a point guard. We need a point guard.
Can I say fashion hate? Can I say? Oh, wait a minute. I like him because he don't talk trash. No.
It's nothing but hate. I like him. Let God deliver you from this.
I like him because he's quiet. No.
He's the point guard that ain't a point guard. That's the problem.
No, he doesn't need to be a point guard. He needs to be a scoring guard. He needs to be somebody who's scoring off and be the second option. He would be a really great Scottie Pippen type player and really thrive, right? Playing behind someone better. And that's a better situation that I think. No, I'm not comparing him to Scottie Pippen, obviously.
You said he be like Scottie Pippen.
I mean the relationship.
I'm like, what?
You did.
I mean the relationship.
Okay, he needs to be the Robin. He needs to be the Robin.
He needs to be the Robin.
Okay.
Yes.
We know that was a joke. Come on.
He needs to be the Robin. If he's the second option, he will do well. That's all I'm saying.
All right, I get you. All right.
Go ahead, PJ.
He was the second option or around that option at Illinois. He didn't do too well.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he needs to be at least the third.
I think probably my favorite player right now is Zane Payne. I think Zane brings a lot of hustle.
No.
He brings a lot of hustle.
Why?
I knew he was going to say that. I knew he was going to say that.
Nah. For real. Okay, for real. So y'all heard me. I still do. I still like. I think it's Ty Lure.
That was mine.
I think Ty Lure. I like Ty Lure. I think now he talked about Scott. I think Ty Lure on another team probably elevates his stock a little bit. Where he's not on a team where it's this dysfunctional. He has a great pace. I feel like once he understands even more about his pace in the game, I feel like he'll become even better. But man, he's hard to stay in front of. I feel like on a more functional team, he'll probably have even more assists. Bring some guys because right now I feel like you just have a lot of guys who want to create for themselves, and it's causing.
That's a good call. That's a good call.
I like Tyler for sure. Been a fan of him.
Hopefully, Louisville's assists are abysmal though. They need more assists than Louisville. They're abysmal.
You see, I told y'all it was like what 700 and something. It was terrible. It was way down there. Go ahead, Perry. Your best player, favorite player on the team.
It's Tyler Johnson. Although you're saying he's off the table, but he's the one because he brings energy. He brings energy. You could tell that he really needs a point guard coach to work with him on some things like throwing the ball away, when he shouldn't be throwing the ball away, some of the telegraph stuff he does, but you can't teach his ability, his athleticism at 6 foot. Watched him block a shot on a defender in the Virginia game. on Sunday. I watched it just a few minutes ago. But he's got.
I was gonna say you didn't watch it live.
No, I didn't watch it live. But yeah, it's gonna be him followed by Curtis Williams, because Curtis Williams, he reminds me a lot of Dwayne Morton. His demeanor and how he moves on the court. If you knew Dwayne Morton from those older Louisville teams in the 90s.
Yep.
And he's you could tell he's a pure shooter. If you set him up, he's going to knock it down most of the time. And then he also shoots well on the move as well. So he is definitely a shooter. So, I mean, this is why we look at Payne. It's like he's got some parts, but.
And that's one place that I wanted to get to, because we're naming these favorite players, and we got BHH. I think everybody would say him. Then Tyler Johnson was put out there, and then who's your dang, what's his name? Who'd you say, Richard?
Mike James.
Can't think of his name.
I said
Mike James.
Yeah.
Mike James. And after that, I mean, you got Sky Clark. Does he have a lot of pieces? I don't think he has a lot of pieces. And I think, Chris, you was asking like his adjustments, KP's adjustments. Can he make them? Does he have the players to? I don't think he does. I mean, and if he makes adjustments, and if he makes adjustments, I mean, we really can't tell because
14.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I agree with you.
No way you're not going to get adjustments.
Okay, all I got to say is, whatever you say about adjustments, there's still no excuse for DePaul. Plain and simple.
No, you're right.
You don't lose to DePaul. I don't care what you got on the court. You do not lose to a team that just fired their coach because they couldn't get more than 3 wins, and one of the 3 wins is over Louisville. You do not lose to DePaul. I don't care what pieces you have. DePaul was it. That was it.
I agree with you.
You ain't got no excuse.
I agree with you, but I'm just saying there's not a whole lot of pieces there to make a whole lot of adjustments. Because
DePaul that was it. You don't have to have any piece. DePaul.
There's not a whole lot of pieces there to beat Kentucky.
So
there's not a whole lot of pieces there to win the.
I mean, of course that.
There's not a whole lot of pieces there to even be a winner in ACC, being second or third or the top half of ACC. But there's enough pieces there to have
to beat DePaul
season, to beat DePaul, to have a 500 season, to make the NIT, make the CCI.
You got enough pieces like
YMCA league. Make one of those.
You had enough pieces to almost beat Texas. You had enough pieces to be competitive with all these other Indiana. You had enough pieces to beat exactly.
Indiana's not making a tournament, so that's kind of.
I don't care. You had enough pieces to do that.
They'll make the NIT. But they'll make some CCI or one of the other offshoot tournaments.
But here's the thing, I actually think the roster, though, when you
I need a bomb sound effect, because that was like a bomb that went off right there.
I think when you actually look at the roster, to me, and this, I know this is not something that Louisville fans want to hear, but when you take a step back and look at the roster, right, I think, and this is me being honest, this is not me being funny. Me personally, I'm not low on Caleb Glenn. I think there are things there for Caleb Glenn. I feel like he needs time, just like I thought Dennis Evan needs time. I feel like if Dennis Evan has the time, if Glenn has the time, back with Brandon Huntley Hatfield, with Ty Lord, and you get a guy out of the portal that can really play and score, I feel like the team is on a good track to be good next year. I think those are good pieces. Even JJ Train, if you get him back healthy, I feel like those are good pieces that can win in the ACC. But they need time.
It sounds like PJ is
okay.
I'm not going
we
for
all
K.
know.
I'm not going for K.
We all know that it takes time to develop, but you had more than enough time to beat DePaul. I don't care on any level. I keep going back to that. You all keep making excuses.
That was your line in the sand.
That was my line in the sand. They just fired their coach for only winning 3 games this season, and one of those 3 victories was Louisville. You had plenty of time. You had plenty of pieces. Plenty of pieces. I don't want to hear this excuse. Yes, we know he can't be top of the ACC. We know he can't beat Kentucky with those pieces, but he should have beat DePaul. He shouldn't have struggled to barely beat that team. I forgot who it was. They only had 4 players on the court at the end of the game. I don't care. You have enough pieces for that.
All right, let's kill it. So I gotta ask you guys, just like we do every single week when we close out. We got our predictions for the next week. Let's go. Louisville at Clemson. What kind of line are we looking at? I'm not going to say predict score. I'm going to say predict line. Louisville at Clemson.
What is this? Because I don't think Louisville is favored to beat anybody at this point. I don't even think we're favored to beat anybody.
Clemson is a 16.5 favorite.
Wow.
Oh my God.
No. Louisville play Clemson this week. Louisville plays in Yum Center. The women.
Oh,
you talking about the
men?
It's game between white teams. This is now 18-3.
Yeah. Hey,
this is
you know what? I said that we were talking about women's basketball, but we went an hour and 40 minutes on men's basketball. So I mean, Scott Clark is pimping the Kenny Payne's beats. Deidre didn't think that was funny. Deidre didn't think it was.
Deidre get straight face, boy.
Sean, you got Deidre already. No, let's go back. Okay, so Clemson. So let's predict the line. At Clemson. Is the first game that Louisville has, and Louisville is a 16.5 point underdog in that game. The matchup, ESPN's matchup predictor, get this,
3.2%. Yeah, I know.
3.2% to win. Wow.
These are sad days indeed, because probably every prediction from here on out is going to be double digit, 15 or greater point underdog for Louisville. And I've never seen a 3.2%. And this is blue chip, like you said, top 6 program in the nation. And this is what we are subjected to. Fortunately, this is the bottom half of the schedule as far as the teams left on our schedule are the bottom half of the ACC. I had a couple weeks ago that if he comes out of here with a 500 season, then he'll have another season at UofL. He'll coach another season.
That ain't ever happened.
Well, the schedule now lines up that we have, as y'all keep saying, we have all the chips and the pieces in place to do that. Because after the way we played Texas and how we played against who was it? How we beat Miami and we almost barely lost to North Carolina. Those teams that we lost to so far in the ACC are at the top half of the ACC. Every one of those teams.
So what is your line? What is your line?
Oh, we're gonna get that. They're gonna get up in us like that. That ain't no joke, because they're gonna get up in us. But
so are you taking what Vegas said?
Anybody else, they could make the rest of these games interesting if it was anybody else. But I don't think Kenny got it. Yeah.
So we helping the voters. The bettors. We helping the Vegas bettors. Are you taking what Vegas is saying?
Yes, I'm taking it with
over or under the line. That's what we're saying. Over or under the line.
Okay, what's the point?
They lose is 16.5 point. I'm talking about over or under the line. I'm talking about they're gonna lose by more than 16.5 or less than 16.5.
Where are they playing at, Barry? Are they playing here? Or are they playing?
They're playing at Clemson. It's at Clemson.
Oh, we're gonna get that. We're gonna get waxed. I still say it's going to be under the line, but we're going to lose to Clemson. It's going to be under the line.
All right, PJ, what do you say? Yeah. What'd you say?
It's over.
No.
I think the culmination of everything that's happened, even recently, I feel like it's done. There's nothing really to fight for. So if they're going on the road, I feel like it's going to be bad. At home, it's probably a little bit better, but on the road, it might get ugly.
Gotcha. Dietrich, what you think?
Once again, chicken bucket type numbers, whether it's going to be a 12-piece, an 18-piece, or a 24-piece. It'll be somewhere in there. I think it'll be more than 16.
The chicken bucket. That's a good nickname, boy. You think it'd be more than 16? All right. Perry. Are you taking what Vegas say? Is that more?
Yeah.
Is it under?
Yeah.
More?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be more.
Dang, dude.
I'm the only one who has a fraction of faith that Louisville.
Yeah. I'm trying to get y'all to. I just got y'all to be very positive about Louisville basketball. Dang, dude.
So Louisville beat Clemson.
Back up off that mic.
Louisville beat Clemson last year. So there's going to be a vengeance component in this. Like, we shouldn't have lost to these bums last year.
Yeah, okay. But I look at the fact that Clemson, what was their last 5?
By the way, Richard, there was a comment it said Louisville barely beat UMBC. Should they have beaten DePaul?
But y'all said, the pieces. Hey, I don't care if he had 4 people on the court. There was no excuse to lose to DePaul. I don't care what you said. The line was DePaul. That was my line in the sand. Clemson last 5 games. Clemson, I think they had to go to overtime against Boston College, which is them and Pitt are like right overtime? Yeah, let me look at this. What was the last 5 games?
They beat Boston College 89-78.
Somebody went overtime with. Didn't they just go to overtime?
They lost to Duke, they went at Duke, lost by 1 point. Oh. But they came and beat Florida State. They came and beat Florida State pretty well. So that's the thing. That's going to be our next game.
Georgia Tech. I think Georgia Tech or somebody that just
cheated in that Duke game too. I don't know if y'all seen it. That was.
They Georgia Tech. Okay, so they lost. They barely beat Georgia Tech in overtime, and Georgia Tech is
they lost in overtime. They lost in overtime to Georgia Tech.
They lost in overtime to Georgia Tech. There you go, to Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech is 9-11. They only got one. They're only 1 game ahead of us in the conference. That's Georgia Tech. So
that's crazy, ain't it?
Yeah. So and we beat Miami, so it could be that's a toss-up game right there. But
Duke shouldn't know. Yeah, Duke.
So that's probably why it's at 16 and not 20 point, and the matchup factor is not 1% and it's 3. So
So let's go next game. Y'all play a 12-8 FSU game. Team, you guys have a chance to win, but ESPN's matchup predictor says you guys have a 21.8% chance of winning on that.
I think just like Virginia, Florida State is kryptonite as well. We hardly ever beat them. So
there's no line on this. Dietrich, give me a line.
Oh, for Florida State?
Yep.
I'm gonna do something crazy.
I think it's at Louisville too.
I think Louisville gonna win this game.
Oh.
I think Louisville gonna beat Florida State. Florida State. They're a good team.
Okay.
But I just think y'all got if y'all got a shot at one of them, it's Florida State over the next.
You said they're a good team. They're 12-8.
That don't mean they're not a good team. They just lost. They just lost games. But I think they got a shot at winning the game because it's at home.
Just
the opposite of a good team. They just lost.
You can be a good team and lose a game. The Lions are a very good team, but they lost the game.
But no. I mean,
no, that's not what you.
Well, hold on, wait.
No, you said Florida State is a good team. Don't mean just because they're not a good team, they just lose games.
To Ditch's point, though, since they started,
I was like, what? Go ahead.
To his point, though, like since they started really in the path of the ACC schedule as far as Georgia Tech, since they got Primo Spears back, they've actually been playing really, really well. They beat Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech, Wake Forest, at Notre Dame, at Miami. They lost to Clemson, won at Syracuse, and they actually played North Carolina very, very well. They played North Carolina, and North Carolina is clearly the best team in the ACC.
See, that's the reason why PJ's on this show. Y'all see the depth of knowledge that he brings? My God.
Until they play Duke, they're the best team in the ACC. Until they play and get beat by Duke. then
They're still about like
Well, North
2 games on
Carolina
Duke.
is the best team in the ACC right now. They're ranked number 4.
like
there's an agenda
So-
why
so-
he's
not
saying
number
that.
4. I'm sorry. Hold on.
That's
No,
UK.
I'm not-
Okay, so hold on.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it
Let's
because
get back on track.
actually play. North Carolina has been clearly the best team in the ACC. Duke lost to Georgia Tech. Duke lost.
So PJ, what's your line? What's your line for that game? Duke versus Kentucky. What's your name? Louisville versus Florida State.
I got Florida State 6.5.
Okay, Florida State 6.5.
So at least
All
a close game. See,
Yeah, close game.
No, I'm
What
saying,
you got?
I think they win for sure.
I got you. What you got, Perry?
I don't know. I don't know. They're not gonna make the spread's gonna be bigger. I'm expecting Louisville to fold. I'm expecting them to fold on every game going forward. There's not enough tank.
if they don't win, I
tank.
think whatever line they get, they're going to beat the spread.
Sean Gurton, be ready for next week because I think UofL Basketball is just taking Perry's spirit. I'm telling you, man. Be ready.
Oh,
It's
man.
coming.
Well, I guess
All
the question you should ask the question you should ask all Louisville fans watching and listening: how many of y'all are watching these games live? Are you waiting? Are you coming to these games 2-3 days later? How many of us are watching these games live?
Chime in on the chat.
Put in the comment on the chat.
Yes. If you are still watching, yeah, that's a good question. I have the ability to do a poll, but I can't do it that fast. But that's a good question. So Perry, what is your line? You didn't say it.
I did. I said they're not gonna make the spread. They're not gonna.
Whatever the spread is, they're gonna make it.
Exactly.
All right. So did you think they're gonna win? Did you think they're gonna win?
Well, they at least beat the spread.
PJ said, okay, at least beat the spread. PJ said 6.5. Perry said they ain't gonna beat the spread. What do you say, Richard? It's all on you.
Let's get to the
We're
Kentucky
gonna
game.
lose by like 4 or 5 points. It's gonna be one of those games at home where we will come back, make a strong comeback at the end, and fall short. That's our MO.
Y'all need to let Scott Clark get off. That's what's going on.
Because he's Scottie Pippen. All right.
And our coach is Dean Smith.
Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead to the Kentucky side of things. So Kentucky has an interesting week because coming up with Florida. I already played Florida once this year at Florida, and it was 87 to 85. So this time Florida comes to Rupp Arena, which is going to be interesting. Let's see what the spread is. The spread right now is not up just yet. The spread's not up, but Kentucky has a 71.4% chance of winning this game. Start with you, Perry. Perry, you got to give me something, man. I can't hear. I don't know.
What's the spread?
This is not posted just yet. It's not posted just yet.
We were
Florida
3.5 underdogs at Florida, so it's probably above that.
Yeah, I mean, is Florida got all of their players? Did they have all their guys? They had a center that was pretty decent last year. I remember the games from last year. This year,
he's gone. They have their guys.
Perry is not watching college basketball. Period. Right now,
Tyrese Simmons is their other big, but they have like a 7-footer that still comes on that looks like that guy that you're talking about.
I mean, they always tend to play UK tough. When's the last time? So I mean, I say UK. If UK wins, it'll be by 10. But I would not be shocked if UK lost. That's just me.
Right.
I'm not. I don't think UK is bulletproof like that.
No, I agree with you. They're not bulletproof, and that's one thing about the South Carolina loss that they realized. Like, hey, we got to show up and we got to play our game every rip. But go ahead, Rich. Let me hear you.
No, y'all gonna beat the brakes off of Florida, but y'all gonna lose to Tennessee at home. Y'all gonna y'all gonna beat the brakes off of Florida, and then Tennessee's gonna come in and upset y'all at home because it's gonna be a matchup. But Tennessee's gonna get y'all at home, and then y'all gonna turn around and beat them at the end of the season. In their place.
It wouldn't be an upset if they beat us. According to
it wouldn't be upset, but I mean it'll be they'll beat y'all at Rupp, and y'all turn around and gonna beat them down there in Knoxville.
Yeah. So here's the question though. PJ. Here's the question though, PJ. Because I already know what you're gonna say about Florida, but do you think that Florida can catch Kentucky kind of peaking to that Tennessee game? Because it is a top. That's going to be a big matchup.
I mean, they could in a sense. I think right now, I
think the
feel
Arkansas game will keep y'all honest.
I feel that we'll be primed because last week we just lost to South Carolina the way we did. And to me,
the Arkansas game was a hard grind out 60-pointer. So y'all gonna clean up.
As I can tell right now, we're going to be at full strength. This is going to be our first game the entire season.
Yeah,
at little strength.
Y'all gonna beat the brakes off.
I think you're gonna. I think we're gonna come in. I think we'll come in with playing. We should come in playing pretty well. Florida has a guy that I really like on their team, and Riley Kugel. I think he's really, really good. He's definitely a pro to me, in my eyes at least. There's some good guards, and they're playing. They're doing pretty well too. They're on a 3-game winning streak, so they're coming here looking for a signature win in order to go to the tournament. They're trying to make sure they can stamp themselves, and beating us would be a really big notch in that belt to try to on their resume to try to do that. I think we come in though and we take it serious, knowing that also we played a tough game down there with them. I feel like we'll be coming in there prepped, and I don't think we'll look past them to go to the SEC to Tennessee. So I think now officially the SEC is a war zone, especially on the road.
Oh, definitely. So what? Okay, so what do you think the spread is for Florida game? Let's go back to Florida game.
I think it's probably going to possibly be around like 5 or 7. I think I think we could win probably close around like between that 9 range. If we come and play, we play right 9+ range. If we play right, I do think it's going to be. It should be more likely a decent game for majority of the game. But I think overall, just how many bodies we have, and can Florida emulate what they did in the first half when we were down in Gainesville? Because I love the clip of Calipari saying, "Listen, they played the best they could ever play. Let's see 20 more minutes." Because they definitely did. And for 20 more minutes, they could not hold it up. And so
they couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
No, you got enough bodies. You got even more bodies now, right? A dude didn't even play that game, right? So you get a dude back, right? You get Z, who was.
And you got Z,
See what these guys can bring into the element of that game. So I feel like I like our chances.
That's why I said y'all gonna beat the brakes off of them.
All right, Dietrich, you up?
8 to 10 points over Florida, something like that is what I'm feeling. My gut says about 8 points. And yes, everybody's back, so that means we got to slice the pie to everybody. So a lot of people in the box score, but it's not going to be a run out, because when you're working everybody in, you usually don't run up big big runaways when you're working everybody in the way that they're doing it. So the way I anticipate it doing it. Now, Tennessee plays South Carolina tomorrow night. So I think we'll all know more about this Tennessee game.
What's that face for?
Because they're both really, really good defensive teams that needs that one guy to like carry them offensively. For Tennessee is Dalton Connect. If he's not scoring 30, 20 points, they're losing the game. But now they have a very, very good defense. Very, very good defense. I think they're a typical Rick Barnes team at Tennessee. They are very, 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 very good defensively. They struggle offensively. They'll go to the Sweet 16 and they will lose.
Well, the matchup predictor has Tennessee beating y'all.
Exactly. Yep. That's why I said it would be. That's why I said it wouldn't be an upset if they beat us. I think they have that. They're going to play us very similarly to what South Carolina did. I think they're an even better defensive team, arguably, than South Carolina. And I do like their pieces that they have. As far as the thing that kind of made me kind of like ugh with South Carolina was, again, they had guys that shoot almost 20% from 3, going 4 for 4. Like, I didn't like that. That's just annoying to me. I don't care what nobody says.
And then the next game they go 0 for 8 or something like that. That's crazy.
Over 9. But
0 for 9.
Worse defense against a weaker defense. But anyways, with Tennessee, they do have some guys who have been in the program. Scovey, you still got Ziegler, who I like. People weren't very high.
Kyle Ziegler.
I like Ziegler. You still got the big guy, a duo, whatever his name is. He's just a solid rim running big. And then you got Dalton Connect, who's the guy who bridges it all together as a scorer. They actually have a really solid team. This is actually the best chance, I feel like, outside of last year, that Rick Barnes has to make it to the Final Four. But the way they've been playing recently, like they've handled business against Florida. They beat Florida by 20, right? Like they handle business at home, but it's something about their team that still gives you that, oh, this is typical Rick Barnes team. They're not going to be able to score enough points to win.
Yeah, the offense.
But they've been scoring, though. They've been scoring, but it's based on connect. No,
it's been Dalton's been scoring. He's been really good. And I think with a
19.5 points a game, yeah.
I think with a dude back, you get multiple bodies at him. You get a dude's going to go at him.
Yeah, we shut him down.
Going to go at him. Hopefully, I think Justin has actually been pretty decent defensively. I think Justin actually played pretty well defensively, but it's covered up by the miscues on offense, right?
Because that's what frustrates a lot of folks. Yeah.
But a dude, even against Arkansas, he got fouled literally 3 of the 4 of the drives that he made. And he just didn't make the shots. But he drove aggressively, and that's what you miss. And I ain't gonna lie, we at home, they're gonna call that foul.
We're at home. So we got con rims. We can shoot well. We shoot well at home.
The ref's gonna call that foul, or they're gonna have to throw Cal out the game.
So are you calling a victory for Kentucky against Tennessee, or
I'm gonna say we're gonna do the upset.
You're gonna do the upset?
I feel like Rupp's gonna be. I think Rupp is gonna be as loud as again.
Yes. I need tickets to that game
all year long. They was very loud against Miami, but I think this game is going to be astronomically loud. It's going to rival the Florida games when we played against Joakim Noah and them, and they came into Rupp and how loud it was, shaking around Rupp Arena, making the floor shake and stuff. I feel like that's what kind of game is going to be for us.
Sean Gurton says that he watched the Virginia game live. He did not watch the Wake Forest game. Listen to the first half. So there you go. All
right, but
Tennessee.
I think we win. I think we win because this Kentucky team has shown that they get up for big games. They raise their level. I ain't hear a ding. Ooh, look, I got a point. All right, so no, we even though we lost against Kansas, they stepped up against Kansas. Even we won against North Carolina, we stepped up. This team does raise its level when the spotlight is on, which is why I like us in the postseason. And so I think they get up for this game. I think they get excited. And I think if they couple that excitement with making the right decisions, I think we win. I think it'll be close, 4 to 6 points. And I think that's just at the end because of free throws. So it'll be close. And if we shut down wasn't it Dalton Connect? If we shut down Dalton Connect, then we win by more. But we really got to shut down a 30-point scoring. We got to take that 30-point effort and turn it into an 8-point effort. If we can do that, then we win. Okay, we win by more.
I feel you. Okay.
Well, don't disappear. Don't disappear when y'all lose. Don't feign sickness. Don't feign I'm on a cruise. Don't tell us you're preaching.
Yeah, don't be on no boat. Don't be in no
Somebody tag Ross. Somebody tag Ross.
Listen.
I'll be in Aruba on the 15th.
Win or lose. I'm gonna tell you the difference. Win or lose, we're watching our games. We ain't y'all. We ain't
lost enough to even
win or lose.
You ain't lost enough games to say you watching them all. You ain't lost lose.
This question is for Sean Gurton. He said he watched the Virginia game. Like, did you watch the whole game? Or did you check out at like 5 minutes into the game? See,
Sean's a real fan, man. Sean's a real fan.
Perry.
Yeah.
All right, close us out, man.
How? Wait, hold on. How can he close us out?
We 2 hours and 3 minutes. I'll give it to you. Yep. I'm gonna give it to you.
Hey, PJ, you lead us. PJ, you lead us.
No, okay. No, Perry, you still gotta give us your prediction. Kentucky against Tennessee. Go ahead.
I think
PJ won't his minutes.
I think Tennessee's gonna pull it out.
I
think Tennessee will pull it out. We'll see.
Is that all you gonna give us?
That's all I can. That's all I can give you.
Sean Gurton, be ready next week.
You fired me. Because I don't watch trash. Because I don't watch trash.
That's how Reese doing.
You're the last person, and you're gonna say, "I think Tennessee is gonna get you."
No, we whipped. I mean,
like
I'm giving Richie and Flies.
How's South Carolina women doing?
But I can't fake it no more. This is not a fake it till you make it, because we not gonna make it.
Hey, I guess
not gonna make it.
I guess, man. I guess because you man, Kenny Payne doing so bad, it took your heart or something. All right. Hey, so we reached to the end of the show. We don't went about 2 hours. We can't talk women right now. We'll try again next week. We don't went 2 hours and 5 minutes. All right. Let's clap it up for the Kentucky side. Those Cats. Because you guys won 20-13. And for Sean Gurton, yes, Louisville always does win. Don't start that now. So we're gonna mute the Louisville fans here. Louisville fans, y'all gotta stay on. Y'all can't be
it's all you. It's all you,
y'all
PJ.
gotta stay on. So I got you. I'm getting ready to give you the countdown, P. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes. Go ahead, go.
Okay, first, everybody bow your heads. Not for real. Listen, UK, they had a rough patch last week against South Carolina. We bounced back this week. It's a joy watching them play. I actually feel bad for Louisville fans who have to watch us. Well, not watch us play, but watch us talk about basketball while they live in their misery. And so my hope is that after the season, they'll be able to find a coach who can come in and help change the culture of their program and get it back on track. Whether that's Jerome Tang, who's a really good culture changer who should be the pick, or if it's the woman beating person, Chris Beard, because Louisville doesn't have any morals anyway. So it will make sense. That's what he is. That's what he is. And beat him. But that's what he is. And so it would not shock me if they hire a man who beats on women because they have no morals at Louisville. They have prostitution parties. They had a president who got in trouble for having a Mexican party. I remember Cinco de Mayo, dressing up, doing all that appropriate. Yeah, they have no morals at this university. So it would not shock me if Chris Beard is not the coach. Come in the May. It would not shock me to see that man in a Louisville pullover, which he will wear every year, and be announced as the coach. So the good thing about that, Elise, is that y'all should put on a decent product on the court, and y'all would forget about him beating on women and all that stuff, and y'all would be happy-go-lucky after we still beat y'all for like the 7th time in a row. Women beat her. Thank you, Will.
He's muted. He's muted. It's just not coming in live. It's not coming through live. You hearing the backstage stuff. All right. So next up, Big Dietrich. All right, Dietrich. I'm gonna set you 2 minutes. Does he have music playing? Does he have music playing? He got music playing in the background.
And we just want to say goodbye to Kenny Payne for all the Louisville fans out there.
Hey, you got to start over because I had you muted. I'm sorry.
The devil gets smited. Okay. Every episode he says something crazy, he gets muted or he gets dropped or something.
I turned down I Am Athlete for this podcast.
No, go ahead, Dietrich. Start over. You got it.
We got 4 minutes.
You got
now.
it, man.
2 minutes per person.
Yeah.
I got it. Next week.
You got it.
2 minutes per person.
Go ahead, Dietrich. Start it right now.
Will, am I live?
Yes.
I just want to speak to all the Louisville fans. And I just want to let you know, as a Kentucky fan, we appreciate the time you gave Kenny Payne. But it's over. And the next guy you get is a woman beater. So in about 5 years, when they recalculate what place y'all are as a basketball program, you're going to drop out of the top 10. So say goodbye to your fictional blue chip status and your fictional top 10 status. It's over, Louisville basketball. It's over. That's all I got to say.
I literally over here crying. I ain't gonna lie. Hey, I gotta give it up. I don't even know what that is, but I gotta give it up for you. All right, guys. I literally cried on that one. That was funny. All right. I appreciate everybody that watched this episode 20 of Cats vs. Cards. We have a lot of fun, as you can see. If you still with us, then that means that you a true blue, true red Cats vs. Card fan, and I appreciate that. All right, join us next week, episode 21, and we're going to be talking about, what happened in the land of basketball then, and we'll try to get into some women basketball again. Sorry we didn't make it this time, but hey, if you're with us,